which
If
is
there's no
nice.
good matchups, man, we could talk about Hall of Fame candidates.
Oh yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Which Hall of Fame
So,
candidates are out there? I know I saw the list came out. So anybody you know off
yeah,
the top?
I don't remember the list, but the one that stood out to me, Torry Holt,
Oh yeah,
and then I saw ESPN. They were debating whether or not Eli was a lock to be
man, come
first
on.
ballot.
Eli's getting in.
Man, but a lock for first ballot. That's what they
Yeah,
were debating. So
T.O. wasn't first ballot, so I can
Or
live with Eli not being first ballot, but he's getting in.
Orlovsky called him a lock. Stephen A was off to the side making faces. And what's her name with the annoying voice who I can't stand? She's like, big plays and big moments and this and that. And Stephen A was like, he actually walked off at the end, but he's like, he only went to the playoffs 6 times. There were 10 years he didn't go to the playoffs. His record, he has a 500 record as a starting quarterback. So he starts saying all this stuff, and I'm like, when you listen to Orlovsky, he kind of builds a case, but Stephen A shot it down right away. And they were debating, and Stephen A's like, I'm not saying he's not a Hall of Famer. If he gets in the first time, I'm not going to say, oh, that's a bad decision. He doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying, you're saying it's a lock. He's not a lock.
Yeah, you know, I've heard the argument too, and Tom Coughlin also getting a chance to go into the Hall of Fame. I thought he would have been a lock with his championships coming from that Parcells tree, but he didn't get it. Doing what he did with the Jaguars in the inaugural season and moving forward, if it weren't for the Tennessee Titans that year, they pretty much go to the Super Bowl. The Titans is the only team that beat them that year 3 times. They were 14-2 in the regular season, and in the postseason, they lost to the freaking Titans 3 times, and the Titans ended up going to the Super Bowl that year against the Rams and losing. We already know about the Kevin Dyson trying to get into the end zone to tie the game, not win the game. They threw too much drama on it. But was T.O. the one that didn't get on the first ballot, or was that Shannon Sharp?
T.O., he didn't get in the first time.
Okay, so that was
He
T.O.
kind of
then.
had a campaign for a couple of years, I
I don't
believe.
even know why. I mean, that was ridiculous. The
Yeah,
media had a chance to get back at him and stick it to him, and they did it.
that's exactly what it was.
That's exactly what it was. I hate when they have that much influence to just ruin it like they did with him. But he got it nonetheless. But he should have easily been a first rounder. Torry Holt, I think he's legit. He came here to Jacksonville in his final years. Caught up with him, cool dude. He had this ill pinky that's like everywhere. It's been, I guess, broken a few times. It's the illest thing ever. It looks like a bad toe. And I remember asking him, yo, you gonna get this thing operated? He's like, yeah, as soon as my career is over. All right, bet. This is back in like 2005 or somewhere around there. And then I see him at the Super Bowl in 2020 when I'm down in Miami. So he's like, hey, what's up? He showed me the freaking hand. He has a Super Bowl ring on. I'm like, yo, bro, what's up with the surgery? He just starts laughing like, yo, man, I guess it is what it is kind of thing. I'm like, oh, bro, man, come on. I mean, that thing just looks ill. It bothers me. So apparently it doesn't bother him. He doesn't care. But I'm like, oh, come on, get rid of that thing, man. But anyway, Torry Holt, I think Isaac Bruce, another one that deserves to go in as well. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That greatest show on turf. And I know that no one's going to push for Ricky Prohl to get in, but you know what? Just throw his name in there. He was part of it too. I mean, he's not going to the Hall of
Part of
Fame.
it, but I don't know.
He's not
I
going to the
don't
Hall
know.
of Fame. I'm just saying he was a part of just the greatest
Yeah,
show on turf. Put his name out there. Ricky
he was a
Prohl.
part of it. That's like saying I don't even know his name, but the tight end for the Steel Curtain Steelers with Stallworth and Swan, it was out
Yeah,
there.
just throw him out there. He was there too, right? Yeah, but they were still known as the Steel Curtain, even though the offense was as good as it was, and the trap offense. You had a Hall of Famer, Mike Webster at center, and you had Terry Bradshaw, you had
Franco
Stallworth, you had
Harris is a Hall of
Franco
Famer.
Harris. I mean, everybody. Rocky Bleier obviously not going into the Hall of Fame, being a fullback with a half a foot, by the way, with that injury from the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
They were still known as the Steel Curtain, where almost everybody on that defense ends up going into the Hall of Fame, and rightfully so, certainly. But man, I'm thinking, Torry Holt should be a no-brainer. Is there anybody else on that list? Because I think I did hear the list was coming out. I just
Yeah,
didn't really
the list is
dig
out.
down.
The list is out. Oh man,
Is it Willie McGinnis on his list?
I don't remember seeing his name.
I
But
don't know. I
yeah,
feel like
I agree with Torry Holt. I don't know if he's a first ballot, but he should be in the Hall of Fame
he'll
in
get
my
in.
opinion.
Isaac Bruce is going to get in.
His
I don't know if he's a
production,
first ballot. He'll get in.
yeah. him and Bruce, their production speaks for
Oh,
itself.
without a doubt, man. I remember when Torry Holt was at North Carolina State and just dominated. In fact, I remember the time he beat Florida State. Pretty much he beat Florida State. And that was when Florida State had that nice team. I remember him, and I remember a little while later, it was remember Corin Robinson, the wide receiver from North Carolina State, ended up going to the Seattle Seahawks, but just couldn't get his act together off the field. I think it was either PEDs or some other nonsense, or whether it was some type of drug issue or weed or whatever. This dude was so ridiculously talented, and he blew his entire NFL career. Kind of like Justin Blackman coming out of Oklahoma State, coming to the Jaguars, but he had more of a real serious issue, the alcohol issue. He just couldn't shake. Talent wise, through the roof. But anyways, yeah, I could see how Torry Holt would get in, Isaac Bruce getting in. They will join Marshall Faulk. They will join Kurt Warner. That offense was just that offense.
So I'm trying to look up the list. Let's see here. Eric Allen,
Eric
cornerback.
Allen, yeah.
Jared Allen, DN. Willie Anderson, tackle. Anquan
Oh,
Bolden.
That's another dude. He won't be a first ballot, but Anquan Bolden deserved to. At one time when he
Yeah.
was playing the most guaranteed hands in the NFL.
That's what I was thinking of. You think of hands, like Anquan Bolden's up there. So
For
there's
real.
Jari Evans, Antonio Gates,
I don't see how
James
Antonio Gates
Harrison.
does not get in. He was one of
Right.
those tight ends that
Antonio
just
Gates gotta get in.
Kent State basketball player, comes to the NFL, becomes one of the greatest tight ends of all time. It almost
Right.
cheapens the
I mean,
talent
you
that you
talk
need to
about
play tight end.
production. Antonio Gates threw up some numbers.
Oh, did he? He was getting it,
James
man.
Harrison,
Who?
James Harrison,
Oh, James
Rodney
Harrison.
Harrison. Let's see, there's Torry Holt, Luke Kuechly. Man, there's a lot of guys
Yo,
in
you
here.
know what? That's another dude, and the reason why he might not get in first because his career was short. But you talking about doing so much in a short period of
All
time,
over the field, man. That dude had
everywhere. At
tackles for
once
days.
upon a time, I thought he was overrated, and this is before he got to the NFL. I remember him as a college player. He came from Ohio, and I had a friend of mine who was also playing at the time too in high school, so I'm kind of like more biased towards him. I'm like, yo, this dude's just as good as him. And then he goes to Boston College, and I'm seeing these ridiculous stats. I'm like, bro, these stats can't be real. They're probably giving him credit for tackles because he's standing next to the guy who got tackled and he fell on him and they gave it to him. You watch that dude play in person, I'm like, oh, okay, all right. He's getting these tackles for real. And then in the NFL, you can't hide from who you are. He
Right.
just was an absolute tackling machine. And on top of that, so smart on that defense. At one time, it was he and John Beeson together, but John Beeson couldn't stay healthy on that Carolina defense. Man, Luke Kuechly, first rounder, man. So he's butting somebody out of there. I know people are going to complain. He didn't play long enough. Shut up. Gail says didn't play long enough, but look what he did.
So
Terrell
for the
Davis.
record, all of these guys I'm naming are semi-finalists.
Okay.
So not everybody's gonna make it to the next
And that's the
round.
truth. Yeah. They got it.
So okay, Kuechly, Eli Manning, who we mentioned, Robert Mathis, DN linebacker, Steve Smith Sr., wide receiver.
That's that. You
He
know what?
definitely he's got to be in.
He's getting in, but not on his first ballot. I don't think so. I think he deserves it, but because of the names you're talking about, this being the semifinals, he may not get in. But you're talking about somebody who played bigger than what they were. He played with a chip on his
Yeah.
shoulder
And
until
he's
he
only like
retired. He played
5'9", right?
huh?
He's only like 5'9", maybe
5'9".
5'10".
Yeah, he's 5'9".
This is a strong little dude, man.
He and Chad Ochocinco went to the same junior college, man. Imagine those two at the same spot in wide receiver. It's killing it.
Pick your poison.
And then he goes to Utah. They disrespected him there. Then he did the special teams thing there. Then was a wide receiver there. And then he went into the NFL with that chip on his shoulder. He broadcasts now with a chip on his shoulder. That dude is just a beast, man. That's what he does.
We got Terrell Suggs.
Another one from that great Baltimore defense.
And you're going to like this one. Fred Taylor.
Man, Fred won't make it this time, but I think he ultimately will get on there. Man, and he ended his career with New England, but down here in Jacksonville, he's pretty much a walk-in legend here in Jacksonville. He's still as cool as he's ever been. You see him on the street, he'll still talk to you, hold a conversation. He's always been like that.
So we also have Earl Thomas, DB.
Earl Thomas.
Adam Vinatieri.
A kicker.
I believe,
but you're talking about
he deserves to get in, but I don't know if he should bump a lot of these guys.
A lot of these other guys that are, even other kickers
not
though.
Before Torry Holt and Fred Taylor or Steve Smith.
Sebastian Janikowski, when his time comes, I think he's getting in.
He should. So okay, Vinatieri, we got Hines Ward, Ricky Waters,
Damn, that's a
Reggie
lot of people,
Wayne,
man.
Richmond Webb, Vince
Richmond
Wilfork.
Webb, bro. People forget about how good he was with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. Vince Wilfork,
That's my
Steve
dude, man. Come on now to
Steve
you. And he
Wisniewski.
was dominant with the Patriots and winning championships. He has the entire resume, winning his championship at Miami, going to the NFL, winning his championship. Dominant player, man. We had him in studio one time when he and his wife, right before the draft, before he had gotten drafted that year. Just a cool dude. I know it's easy to say this dude's cool, that dude's cool. We have a 15-minute interview. Now we interviewed him on the air, and speaking to him a little bit off the air, then a little bit for a while in the studio. Wife just kicking it, chilling. It was just nice, and he's still with that same wife now. And you know how the NFL is, man. Wives are interchangeable, come and go like turnstiles.
So last three: Steve Wisniewski,
Steve
Darren.
Winooski,
You remember him?
yeah, from the Raiders, right?
Lineman for the Raiders, yeah.
Yeah,
Darren Woodson and Marshall Yanda.
Marshall Yonder. Oh, that's an old school dude. Isn't
No,
that?
he played from 2007 to
Oh,
19.
you know what,
Guard tackle for the Ravens.
bro? I don't how the hell I forgot that. I don't know all these players, but
Man,
the name
so
doesn't ring a freaking bell unless I'm missing some. Might be
I don't
COVID
know how many voters get to put on their ballot, but that's a tough list to
to
dwindle
eliminate
down,
from.
man.
Yeah, man, it's a hard list to trim down. There's gonna be some upset people. I remember when Roger
Like
Craig talked about how he got, they told him that this is gonna be it, and he was just disappointed, man.
being a Bears fan, I saw Jared Allen twice a year. And
Yeah,
Bears had a trouble
but
every
Jared
time
Allen was a beast
blocking
though.
him. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, okay, Jared Allen should get a vote. Anquan Bolden should get a vote. Willie Anderson should get a vote.
Willie Anderson
And that's
definitely,
like that's like three out of the first four out of the 25-man list. Like
and that's
if
Willie
you only
Anderson that
get
played with
five,
he played with the
uh,
Cincinnati Bengals, right? Willie Anderson.
yeah, that
He
one.
played
Yeah,
for the
you
Bengals,
talking
came out of
about it.
Auburn, went to Blount High School, I believe, down in Mobile, Alabama. They call him Stew Beef. They used to call him that as a high school. I had a friend who went to high school with him. So he was telling me about that, like, bet. But I did see him at Auburn, and he did become a first round draft pick and all that. But
So
anyways, man, that's a
so
hell of a list.
based off that list, I don't think I have Eli in the top 10.
Now that you talk about with those kinds of guys,
Mhm.
man, it makes it difficult. I mean, his Super Bowls is what saves him.
Right.
The Super Bowl and getting those MVPs. Because remember the
Well,
time
think
they
about
did
it. If the Giants don't win those Super Bowls, is he even under consideration?
he's a Manning. They'd say it, but you know what? We got to go with what is, and he
No,
has
I
won the
know.
Super
I'm just
Bowl,
saying.
the MVP of those Super Bowls. And when the Giants did win, they came from the wild card spot to win, and so they took the road less traveled and still got into the Super Bowl and still won. And then the dramatic way, even though it was David Tyree who had to deliver the pass, and then the other one was Plexico
Make the
Burris.
cat.
I
I
said who
mean,
had to
make the
deliver the
cat.
pass to Tyree. I said who had to
Yeah.
deliver the pass to Tyree to go
But
through that.
man, that's a strong list, though. I can't
A
have Eli
powerful
in my
list.
top 10
It's hard. I could have
off
sworn
of that.
That Willie McGinnis was on that list, but apparently not. Maybe he was on the bigger list, and when it got narrowed down to this, he just didn't
Maybe.
make the cut.
Yeah. So that's my question. Like, okay, you got a 25-man semifinalist list. How many do they vote for now to cut it down? Is it 15? Is
I
it
think it might
10?
be 15. I think if I remember, it might be 15. But still, taking someone from that list. Now I'm looking at someone like Kuechly because of then you make the argument about the short career. And you're like, wow, you know what? He doesn't make it because of that. When you look at those other names that are established, championships and longevity, I think that takes precedence over just being a freaking ridiculous player for a short period of time, though. And no championships. You had it. You went to the Super Bowl on a 15-1 team, and Cam threw it away for you. But now I don't think it was Cam altogether, but it was the freaking Denver defense, man. They were that good. Cam Newton, bro. Come on. I don't want that ball. What do you want? But
I think I saw a thumbnail on YouTube where he regrets, or maybe doesn't regret, or he said that if he had it to do over again, he would have gone for that ball. So maybe he does regret not going for it.
Oh no, he regrets it. How can you not? I mean, he's a competitor, regardless of how
I'm
people
just
look
saying,
at
I
him.
don't know if he said he regrets it.
So I mean, man, he should. Yeah, I don't know how
He ought to
people.
regret not going
Yeah,
for it, yeah, but
yeah, man. I mean, come
that
on,
doesn't mean that's how he feels.
your instinct alone as a player should make you jump for that. Hey, I play a little semi-pro ball, not like these guys and beast and monsters to face. But I remember how small I was then. I did that just a little bit after boxing amateur. I fought at 139. My first season playing semi-pro ball, I was 155. I used to get roughed up, man. We played Sunday games. My soreness was over on Thursday. And then we go into another game. That's why the off season I put on 30 pounds in 3 months. I'm not even, man. One day I'm gonna try to get my quarterback, who is also one of the coaches on the team later on. He'll come on and he can validate all that. Put on 30 pounds. They thought I was on roids, man. I was like, get out of here. But anyway, but yeah, man. But I remember when we had a fumble, my little ass was jumping out there in front of the big dude, trying to jump on the ball and get it just instinctively. Now, when I saw them coming, I was covering up. But regardless, man, that's almost an instinct. And Cam is not a little dude. You're talking
Oh,
235,
Cam's
240
a big
pounds.
dude.
Big dude, strong dude. And he was like, nah, I think there's something better to do in life than get after that ball, even in the
He
biggest game of my life.
made a
But man,
business decision
certainly
in
the
the
business
Super
decision.
Bowl.
And they were given the business. He would end the Super Bowl, given the business. Denver's defense and absolutely insane that year. And they did carry Peyton Manning to a second Super Bowl championship because he had nothing to do with that other than being in attendance.